Yo, what's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I am Antoine,
And I am still James.
and we got a review, a Netflix review, Grappler Baki on season 3 on Netflix. Um, Big fan of the original manga and original anime, so we're gonna go ahead and review this. But before we do that, I got an intro. All right, all right, we back. So, Grappler Baki. Um, so, if anybody's not into anime, they might not have heard of Grappler Baki because it was a popular as a manga. It's been running since the early '90s, um, and then they got an anime like in the early 2000s. I think it was like it was like maybe like 2003, 2004 or something. And I remember watching that knowing that it wasn't finished, and I really wanted to finish, so I kind of, I just got the manga, and I started reading the manga to finish it. But then real excited to find out that Netflix picked up they picked up Baki where they left off where they did the anime, and you know when they brought it back, but the animation ain't as good, but they still stayed to the 2D format with
Rather,
some 3D in it. What'd you say?
I'm glad they didn't like go heavy on the 3D for this because
Yeah,
I know that's become kind of the norm because it's so easy to crank out,
I know. And
but it just doesn't work as well to me.
right, and they did that with another good fighting anime, King and Ashura, which a lot of people say just a rip off of Baki. It's more it's kind of a rip off of Baki, but it's still good though. It's like one of them. It's one of them. Okay, it's a rip off of Baki, and I'm not a purist. Be like, well, I can't watch that because I'm a Baki fan. No, I can watch that too. It's actually
My
good.
thing on that, my thing on that, if it's a rip off for the right reasons,
Well, the
you
thing
know,
is, if you could take something and make it even better, and you basically got your idea from that, and then
yeah,
you still, it's like it's a thin line, if it's just a rip off, it's just a clone, then I'm like, no, I can't do it. It's inspired by Baki. How about that? So anyway, Baki is a anime about. It is a fighting anime. It's basically a mixed martial arts anime, and this is actually before mixed martial arts was a big thing. That's another thing. Baki kind of set 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 the standard for that before UFC was a thing. Before all that, Grappler Baki was doing all that stuff that's real popular now. Where they talk about all these different
right,
styles and mixing martial arts and all that. It's all in. That's all in Grappler Baki. Being a mixed martial artist that's so popular now, you know, um, and Baki started like in the early '90s, like '91 or something. So I was like, okay, this was out before UFC was even a thing. So I was like, okay, and I didn't know that. They got the octagon. They fighting the octagon, just like the UFC. I'm like, you think maybe the UFC was reading Baki and was like, hey, you know what? That's a good idea.
I mean, but this is what happens when you've got an anime, well, a manga made by a fighter who's interested in fighting.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like you're going to you can tell the way this stuff is written. Like this dude's a bit of a nut for martial arts.
right.
Like it comes through.
Well, for when I found out after did some research, the guy who the creator, he's a big fight fan, and he actually made all these characters off real people. Well, not all
Yeah.
of them, but a lot of them. Are Baki himself is actually a real fighter. Like it's a real fighter that that they based Baki off of. And I didn't know that fought in he fought he was a mixed martial artist back in the '90s. I don't know if the guy knew that guy or whatever. It was like a Japanese mixed martial artist that he based it off of. Because I was looking it up, and they had all these. They was like um, side by side with people that the character was based off of, and they look just like the damn character. I'm like, what? I'm like, so the dude didn't have to work hard to create his characters because he just took real people that he liked and just changed their name.
Right.
Some people he didn't even change their name, and I'm gonna get to that.
Well,
Biscuit Oliva.
some of them he changed it just a little bit, just enough that he can't get sued.
Look, I only know I don't know how he didn't get sued with Oliva unless he got permission, because we gonna get to that character, which is one of my favorite characters. But when I found out the real person, I'm like, dude, you literally drew the real guy and didn't even change his name. We talk about one of the characters on there, which, and this is the thing about Baki. All the characters are exaggerated. You know, every fighting, all the fighting is very exaggerated. It's fun. Like it's funny because they set a standard and they say this is in our world. This is they strong as a human can be. Everybody supposed to be peak human, but
Right.
some things they do is superhuman. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, that ain't gonna happen, dude.
Talking to a buddy of mine at work, and we were talking about Yujiro Hanma. It's like,
Yeah,
like
man, we got to start from
how
the
you,
beginning.
yeah.
I just
So like,
there's so many characters, but go ahead.
it's just like the man casually does things that no human being should be able to do.
You talking about OP? We gonna get to
Yeah.
him because I'm gonna get to the main plot. So
All right.
um, I'm just giving you like basically a background where the anime come from, what's it about. So Baki he's a mixed martial artist, and his main goal is to beat his father. His father is just a crazy motherfucker that like to fight anybody. No, he's got a big grudge against his father, and he's been learning how to fight growing up. So he started with boxing, then he started learning karate, then he started learning judo. Like so, he started learning everything. Then he started just learn to put them all together. And this is kind of like the birth of mixed martial arts, which is kind of cool. I really like how they do this anime. And if you watch it from the beginning, they show from when he's about like 13. So he goes up from there and start learning, how to fight. And he take his lumps and bumps because he get his ass kicked a lot. And then he gets stronger, and then he'll, learn from that mistake and get stronger. So I really like how they kind of build him up. But and you know what? I want to say that for later, but I'm like, he too OP too. We're gonna talk about it.
Especially comparing the way he is here in season 3.
Yeah. So
The way he
okay,
started out.
okay. So let's get to this season. This is season 3 on Netflix, but this is really season 5 because you got 3 seasons. You got 3 seasons that was originally out in the early 2000s, and where the season on Netflix pick up, Baki already won they call it the maximum tournament, and he won that tournament, and now he's kind of like just kind of chilling or whatever, and these guys break out of jail and they all challenge him to a fight because he's the champ, and it's like I'm like, okay. Now we could talk a little bit about the death row inmates. That's like an arc. So each season is like an arc. Death row inmates are, like I said, they was all these guys that was locked up, and they supposed to have this. I forgot what they call it. It's something they said they all had this in sync thing where they all wanted to challenge somebody strong. So they all broke out of jail in all different parts of the country. I mean, all different parts of the world, and they all came to Japan.
They said
You said it's what now?
they all suddenly had the desire to taste defeat.
Yeah. So why did they just go to Yu-Gi-Oh? You know what I'm saying?
But look, he would have licked them down.
He would right. He would have obliged them so quick. So anywho, the Death Row inmate arc. First it was cool. I really didn't like those characters because Baki first 3 seasons was built on fighting in tournaments, like professional fighters. It wasn't no street fighting really. It was all about Baki would fight. First he started off with trying to box. Then he started off in karate tournaments. So he was doing like organized fighting. And I think the prison inmate art was to show that sometimes you got to fight without rules, and you need to learn how to fight, dirty and some like everybody not gonna wait for you to say I'm ready, I'm ready. Some people gonna sneak up on you, and so that was kind of like how that was the reason I believe that was the reason why they did the prison inmate art, and it was some fun stuff there, where there was some good characters. I like and I don't want to talk too much about that because this is about the third season, but I did like some of the characters, Sikorsky and Speck. Like everybody came from different countries, so it was like a Russian dude. Where was Hector Doyle from? Was he supposed to be Hispanic because his name was Hector, or
I think he might have been American.
no? Was he? Maybe. But anyway, everybody came from different countries. So we got introduced to all these new fighters, and then one of my favorite characters we got introduced to Mr. Oliver. Now I did not like, which his name is actually Oliva, so I'm gonna say it right. They kept saying his name wrong. Now he's based off a bodybuilder, a famous bodybuilder that actually his rival was Arnold Schwarzenegger. He went Sergio Oliva, which is he's a bodybuilder that won Mr. Universe, and I think in '69 he beat out Schwarzenegger in 1 year.
Yeah.
And then he won second place 1 year, but he always complained that was fixed for Schwarzenegger to win or something. That was like a big deal. Like he said that the Schwarzenegger had the owners in his pocket or something like that. It was, you got to read it. But anyway, so he beat out Schwarzenegger 1 year for Mr. Universe. So he was a bodybuilder, real big. He was a Cuban American. I think he was Cuban American or whatever, like from Cuba, but he was living in America, whatever. So I saw this character, Mr. Oliva, and I really liked him. He's real big, a big Cuban American named Mr. Oliva. That's a bodybuilder, and I looked up. He got this off a real person, and the dude, the real Sergio Oliva looked just like. His name is Biscuit Oliva. He looked just like him.
I don't think I've ever seen there's one other character in this anime that looks exactly like the dude he's based off of. I'm like, I don't know how you avoid getting sued, man.
Right?
Like,
maybe they gave him permission or whatever. I don't know, but it's like, okay, it's fun and it's actually they using him well. It's just the fact that his estate got to be like, because his son is actually bodybuilding. Oliva Jr. Sergio Oliva Jr. is a bodybuilder currently competing. And I don't know if he saw that was like, okay, I need to get something for that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to just use my dad and not give me no kind of. So I don't know exactly how they got away with it, but they clearly used a real person. But I did like the character himself. I did like him. I really like him because he's not just a big dumb black dude. He's actually real smart. And he's kind of like a detective almost. That's why I kind of like they got him like a. So he's a prison inmate that catch.
Well, technically,
he just lived there, and it's like a little mansion.
He's a prison resident.
Right, exactly. It's funny, and he actually can't hunt. They can actually make a whole show on him. Yeah. It's a couple. Say again.
Didn't they make like a for the manga, didn't they give him like a side story?
I mean, I guess you can say some of his story was him hunting down the criminals. He shows back up in the next season though a lot. He was in this tournament. So he's like, he's this big bodybuilder that actually don't have. I don't know if he used any skills. It's just he always used strength. Like any way he beats somebody, it's just brute strength. You say what?
That's even his fighting style, like unmatched strength or something like that.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's our the main story. Baki is trying to get stronger by fighting every different fighter he can so he can beat his dad. His dad is called the strongest being on earth. And nobody can beat him. So his dad is super strong, crazy dude that just do what he want, go anywhere he want. They had this one episode in the season 2, maybe, where he go and challenged the. Well, he didn't challenge the president, but he challenged the Secret Service and just like beat everybody up. Why can't you just shoot him? Like they make him so good that he can dodge bullets or whatever, and he get up right up on the president. It's like, I just want y'all to know that I'm that good. I'm that damn good that I could have killed the president, but I'm cool. I'm just going. So they just give him everything he wants. So they gave him a jet and like a personal body, a personal. They gave him like you know what I'm saying? They gave him like a personal military escort wherever he go. So anyway, this is Baki Gold to beat him. And so Baki's been training and he's meeting all these new fighters. And this is where I like, because all these new fighters, they got all these different fighters on different styles and all that. And then this is kind of my problem with like stuff like with Dragon Ball Z. I started, well, early on Dragon Ball Z, I started liking all these characters, and then they have them get their ass whooped later. But eventually they're gonna lose because Baki gotta continue his journey or whatever. But they had some of my favorite characters get like deformed, like not deformed. They get. That's the thing about this series. People get hurt so bad they should be dead, and they come back 2 days later with just a scar.
Yeah. The explanation is always, it's either one of two things. Modern medicine is a great thing, or ancient Chinese medical techniques.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's so much to this animes, and I'm trying to just stay on this last season. So I'm gonna just talk about this last season. I'm probably gonna edit a lot of this because I know I've been going on, and I'm sorry because I love this anime. But so let's talk about this last season. It's called the I think it's called the Raitai. The Raitai tournament. The Raitai tournament. It's just like this Chinese tournament that they only have every 100 years, and and this is supposed to be whoever win this tournament get to be called the Kaio, which is the supreme, I guess the best fighter in China. Maybe is that what Kaio is?
They have the smaller Raitai tournaments that happen all the time.
Okay.
And then they have this one, the Grand Raitai tournament.
Right.
And so I guess they use different characters the way they write it, but apparently the person that becomes Kaio in the Grand Raitai tournament, it means something a little different than the one who becomes Kaio in the lesser ones.
Right. So this one is like you be like the best fighter in China, I guess.
Yeah.
And so it's important to the Chinese fighters, this tournament. So Baki go to compete in this tournament, and I guess I could talk about why it's kind of stupid. Baki was poisoned in the last, and he's dying from this poison. And they say the only way you can get cured by fighting in this tournament. How? It's like, come on, man. And
it's like, look, I know you broke your arm, but if you punch really, really hard at this bag or this wall, this dude, I swear your body will heal itself.
It's funny you said that because they're gonna do something like that later.
Like
we're gonna
this
talk
anime is pretty much like
bullshit.
But it's like it's biblical levels of bullshit.
I mean, I love it, but like, come on,
dude. Fighting fixes everything.
I know. It's like y'all might as well say they got powers somehow, got mystical powers or something, because they do things. Oh, his fighting spirit repaired his body. Shut up. Because you base everything in reality, and now your fighting spirit is so magical that it can just heal you. Stop it. So, moving on. So this season was about this Raitai tournament. So they introduced a couple new characters. There was Grandmaster Kaio, and then we got Retsu Kaio, was one of my favorite characters. I know I say a lot because I love all these characters, dude. I end up liking a lot of these original characters. And Retsu Kaio, Grandmaster Kaio, and Ali Jr. Ali Jr. is Muhammad Ali's son. The Muhammad Ali that we know. Which they say again.
Muhammad Ali.
It's not.
They
changed the name a little bit. See, I
Yeah,
thought
they
I
changed
thought
the
they
name a little
kept it
bit.
just. I thought they just kind of mispronounced it because it was, you know how like sometimes they,
Yeah.
you know, in the Japanese version they just add an extra syllable, but it's still supposed to be
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali. It's basically
So I think
Muhammad Ali.
that's that little bit. That
I mean, he
little
was
bit of difference.
okay.
It's like,
So
please don't sue us.
so is he
Going like,
supposed to be the actual Muhammad Ali, or is he supposed to
yeah,
be a
he
character
is supposed to
based
be
off
Ali.
Muhammad Ali?
I mean, he's supposed to be the Muhammad Ali of their world.
Okay, so which he looked just like Muhammad Ali, and then
Look just like
they and I think it was a way to show respect to Muhammad Ali because if you watch the season before, they really showed a lot of respect to Muhammad Ali. Yu-Gi-Oh himself was like saying how he got respect for him, how he fought for racial justice and all that. I was like, what? I was like, what you doing out there, Yu-Gi-Oh?
in the same moment of telling him, it's like you're not on my level. You'll never be on my level. I'm completely better than you in every possible way. But bruh, the way you fought for social injustice
Yeah,
and the way
I
you had
respect
the
you.
country.
Right, I respect you so much. I mean, tell them the truth. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh, okay,
Yujiro is actually a Muhammad Ali fan.
right. So this bring his son. So they show Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh is probably like 80 years old because they always have him back in the '60s. You know, as he like he was 20 years old. We don't know how old Yu-Gi-Oh is because his genes are so good that he just keep getting older. He said and I quote, I got kids all over the world.
Yeah.
Like so Baki the only one you care about, huh? And not forget Jack Hammer is his son too.
There's gonna
You
be the
froze up.
Children of Yujiro
Okay.
tournament, man. Like, Baki, if you want to prove that you're the best of my children, you have
Yeah.
to fight all.
I know for some reason he don't claim nothing but one. And then don't forget Jack Hammer is his son too. And Jack Hammer told him, and he was like, okay. And they kind of like left that whole subplot out. Like, I mean, they stopped going there because his goal was to beat Yu-Gi-Oh too. And for somehow he got all his strength back and got stronger, and now he ain't even interested in fighting Yu-Gi-Oh no more. But okay, we still we on some other stuff. Okay, so you froze up. I don't know. Okay, there we go. So anyway, so in this tournament, you got Ali Jr. And I want to talk about that character in particular because this is Baki's rival. They made Ali Jr. his rival. Ali Jr. Pretty much same age as Baki. He might be maybe a year or two older because Baki like 17, 18. And he kind of like said, you know, I come over here to show that I'm the best. I perfect. Oh, the art of Ali. Remember, they started a whole new fighting style. And he's like, you ain't just a boxer. You actually start a whole style. And I'm like, I kind of like that. I like that. They was like, you start a whole style, the art of Ali.
I really dig the hell out of it. That was cool. That was cool. That art of Ali thing, that was cool, man.
Right. And so Muhammad Ali Jr. is like, I perfected that style, and I want to show that I'm the best or whatever. So he get over there, and hey, the boy is actually good, you know. And like, you know what I'm saying? They's like, oh, everybody keeps saying he a boxer. He ain't no mixed martial artist. It's boxing got a lot of flaws because it's only punching. It's only good for a sport. If you ain't fighting the sport, we can beat you, you know. So everybody, you know, it's like I can all I gotta do is stay low and I can beat a boxer, you know, stuff like that. And he was still beating them. You know, that's what I was like Ali actually good, you know, and didn't get touched like the whole series. Nobody actually put a hand on Ali because his reflexes were so good. So, and then that's why I was like, okay, so this is Baki rival. So I'm like, okay, maybe he on Baki level, maybe, you know, we'll see. So, you know, the Ratai tournament, the way that went, that was kind of a fun tournament, but all the Kyos were so weak. Like,
yeah,
none of the Kyos actually put up, and that's why I was like, okay, they make it look like that they superhuman. Anybody on Baki, the Baki fighters we know, superhuman, right? Other fighters are just human. So I was like, what are we dealing with here? Are we dealing with superpowers? Because they so much on a different level. Huh?
Yeah. The only Kaios that were worthwhile were Retsu and the Grand Kaio. They were the only ones that
Right.
were worthwhile.
Everybody else was trash. And it not even nobody put up a fight in that tournament. No one put up a fight for none of the fighters that we knew. And Biscuit
Also,
I'll say Biscuit Oliva actually crushed a dude. But go ahead. What'd you say?
did they have to bitch out Sikorsky like that?
Wait a minute. Oh, you mean what's his name? You mean not Doyle, Dorian. You talking about Dorian?
No, Sikorsky.
He wasn't in he wasn't in he wasn't in this he wasn't in this tournament.
You know what? I'm mixing up the last couple episodes of the last season. Yeah, no, you know what? You're right. I am talking about Doyle. Man, why'd they do that?
Well, I mean, I think the thing was, I think he had like diabetes or something. Something happened.
He got brain damage.
I know something happened to his mind that he thought he was a kid. They should have just left him out.
Yeah.
I think that, like, I don't want to see him no more.
Like, you know, they march him out in there and like
right. Right. That was actually they should have cut that out. Right? I know they should have cut that out because that was just torture. Like you put a brain dead guy in there just to get beat down and then walk away. It's like, whoa, that's wrong. You know, he should be in a mental institution, and that should be the end of it. Anyway,
doesn't have any.
But what was I saying? So yeah. Then we're gonna get to the Grandmaster Kyle. It's this old dude that's 100, like he's like 140 years old. And he was very, he's supremely confident, like I can beat anybody. So I'm waiting on see him and Yujiro fight because Yujiro been looking for a challenge and Grandmaster just like talking like,
Well, like he walked right up to Yujiro. It's like, man, you really weak, huh?
Yeah. So They made me, they basically set that up like I can't wait for this fight. That was pretty much the best fight of this whole tournament or this whole season. Yeah, that was the best fight of this whole season. Where they actually had their big showdown, and that was a good fight. And I don't want to spoil what the end of that fight, but they ended up being a damn good fight because usually you always have a good fight on every season, and he always end up killing his opponent. Where they put their best, and then once he take him serious, it's a wrap. Because the way he did Dopu, Dopu Orochi actually put up a good fight, but then once he got serious, it was a wrap. So, and I know I'm throwing out names. I guess this is for Baki fans, because most people that ain't no Baki fan won't know what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, it's. Yujiro, which I said is Baki's father, is so damn strong that he never can get no for real competition. But the Grandmaster that was a good fight. Yeah. What you think of that fight?
They built the Grandmaster Kaio to be the perfect antithesis to Yujiro.
Yeah. I like the fact that one, it wasn't somebody scared of Yujiro, and two, it wasn't just a slaughter, it was a real fight, you know what I'm saying? I know the way they ended their fight, I don't know if people disappointed or not, but I'm actually happy they did that. Because one, it wasn't going to end no other way. So, yeah, I mean, and so the Ratai tournament, once that came to a close, they moved on to finish off Baki and Ali Jr.'s rivalry. But one thing I did like, Baki, after he got cured of his, poison, he challenged Yujiro. Well, he said, hey, I'm feeling good. I feel stronger than I ever been. Let's fight now. And what Yujiro do?
He muzzled his damn head, dude. Like, just put him right into a wall.
Boy, he threw him through 3 walls. And said, I don't give a fuck how good you feel right now. Don't you ever fix your face and say that to me. I swear. Yujiro turned to a black dad. He turned to a black father so quick.
First he had to call him out. Like, Hey, boy, you talking real tough. Someone whose legs can't stop shaking.
Yeah, I mean, Baki was feeling himself too. Like, woo, boy, I feel good. Boy, I got some ass. I got some food. I'm cured. You know, I've been beating people left and right. You know what? I think I'm ready to fight you, Yujio.
Like,
Boy,
he
what?
came right up to him. It's like, all right, Pops, run them hands. Like, this boy really just go, ah.
Boy, don't you ever in your life. Hey,
Like,
and you should saw Baki's face after he went through that wall. Baki was looking like, oh, I didn't think this through.
he was appropriately shook.
Yeah. So anyway,
Anybody else would have been dead.
and this is kind of like this is kind of setting up for his fight with Yu-Gi-Oh. And the last thing, Ali Jr. Like I said, Ali Jr. was set up to be a strong character. Everybody he fought, because he pretty much got superhuman reflexes. So he basically like, because how Ali used to fight with real good reflexes, where he can just stand there and you'll punch, he'll miss, dodge him, he'll dodge you. You know his reflex is so good. And so Ali Jr. was supposed to take it to the next level. He had superhuman reflexes. Anytime you try to hit him, he'll dodge you, you know, and then he'll punch you so fast you didn't even see where it came from. That was his thing. So so they said Ali Jr. pretty damn good. You know, I was like, you know, so he went and started challenging top fighters in Japan, and he worked them. You know, he challenged Dopo Orochi, knocked him out. He challenged Goki Shibakawa, knocked him out. You know, I was like, whoa, hold on. You know, these dudes, you know, these ain't no punks, though. These are grandmasters, you know.
And it looks good to set up that final fight, you know, that's going to happen between him and Baki. Like, look, if I can beat you, I'm on his level, right?
Right.
So let me take you out.
Right. That's his whole goal. You know, Ali Jr. was like trying to, he was trying to prove how strong he was, and by fighting, you know, top guys. And he wants Baki girlfriend. So, like I said, they set him up to be his total rival. Like, I want your woman. I want your title. I want everything you got. Like, really? Come on, Ali. So I mean, they turn around. He he fight two grandmasters. Then he turn around and fight. Then he make his first mistake. He challenged Jack Hammer. He tells Jack Hammer. Now, Jack Hammer is one of the characters from this dude eat nails. Literally eat nails. Which, by the way, his teeth fell out in the end of the Maximum tournament, and somehow he got all his teeth back. I don't know. Because
he also grew 8 inches. Come on.
Well, I mean, they showed why that happened. He had bone lengthening surgery, which I don't know how. If you watch the end of the season 3, because he was all the steroids, his body like turned against him and was all messed up. Somehow his body healed itself, and then he got taller, and now he's back to where he was.
He probably went in and entered himself into a tournament.
What I heard, when I was reading, they were saying that he actually it's all natural now. He like when they show him like throwing up and stuff, he was like getting all that out of his system, and now it's all natural. Whatever, it's cool. I like the character. He's a beast. He
fought his way back to health because that's how things work in Baki.
Right. Anyway, he's a beast, and I like the character. So like, that's Ali
deserves the last name Hanma.
Yeah, right. Is it Hammer? They used to call him Jack Hammer, but he's actually Hama. But I don't know if that's his name because he was raised by his mom. Whatever. We ain't here to talk about Jack Hammer. I like the character.
But so Muhammad Ali Jr. decides he's going to go after Jack Hammer. And what you expect to happen when someone goes and challenges Jack Hammer happens.
What? Jack Hammer beat the dog snot out of him. He put up a decent fight at the beginning, then Jack Hammer just destroyed his ass. So, okay, so they had this montage. He go see Kosway, Baki girlfriend that he's trying to steal from. And then next thing you know, Dopu show up like, hey, round 2. So he obliged him, got beat bad, This Goki Shibakawa called, hey, round 2. So this dude got beat so bad, you know, and then out of nowhere, where his dad, or then Ali Senior come in like, hey, you ain't hurt, boy. Come on. Like I'm like, what the fuck going on here? It's like, okay,
I thought you was
whatever.
a fighter. Let's go.
But this is Tilby right here. This is the thing about Baki. He's fighting. No, he's hurt. He's hurt so every bone in his body broke. Dude got toe up, and he's training because now Baki, he challenged Baki, and now he about to fight. So he's training, and somehow in his training, his body just healed itself. Did they explain that?
Yeah.
I got to get the
Like,
English version. Maybe it was lost in translation.
It was some BS. It was like they basically talked down to him. It's like, hey, there's nothing wrong with you turning down the fight because you're too.
Right.
You're too
I'm
busted
just
up.
saying, mentally he was ready to fight, but physically his body just healed.
Like
his
they got him bad enough that he was fighting hard enough that his body said, well, shit, I guess we need to be healed up if he's going to do some dumb shit like this.
Get out of here. The way
Baki, look,
the
it's
way
a fighting spirit. Yes,
I know, but the way they beat him, the way his body was beat, it would have took months for him to get better.
Look, it's like in that one Fast and Furious movie when The Rock just flexes out of his cast.
Yeah. So anyway, so this brings back the last fight with Baki, man. And then I was like, okay, Ali Jr., I love this character because one, it's a black character in anime. We don't get that often. If we do,
Right.
It usually be some coon shit. And I hate that.
And he's actually black. He's not,
Yeah, sometimes they got
black on this alternate universe. Like this is a black dude.
right. He's an African American. So
Yeah.
and in the anime, and he's good. And and he was hanging with all the top fighters.
He's not a sidekick. He's
Right.
not a joke.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was like, oh, I like this character. And he's actually a little badass, And so he gonna have a fight with Baki. They set this up. Yu-Gi-Oh showed up. He gave him both of his blessing. He slapped both of them on the back like, fight. And the dude that was about to hit the gong, he's like, move. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm gonna hit the gong. These are our sons right here. These are our boys.
Yeah.
And man, dude, this was like one of the most disappointing fights that got built up. Fight was over in like 2 moves. And I'm like,
man.
and I don't want to say exactly what happened, but I'm like very disappointed, man. Now I understand though, because I say, you know what? I'm not gonna get too mad at Ali Jr. You know why? Because his inexperience, if they continue with the character and have him learn for this and have him get better, I would like that. But if they don't show him no more, I'm gonna be pissed. You know what I'm saying? They just right, because I had a similar character that I really liked that got embarrassed like that. Kasumi Orochi, Dopey Orochi's son, got beat with 1 punch. They built him up. I don't know if you saw that season, but in the Maximum Tournament, that as soon as that season started, Dopu was like, since I lost, my family got embarrassed, so I'm bringing our secret weapon, my son. He better than me, stronger than me, faster than me. He talked up, and then when he get there, they was like, oh shit, Kasumi can't be beat.
I'm sorry, because that's kind of a pattern with Baki, right? When whoever the master is says, so you thought I was something, but my student over here is faster than I've ever been. He's stronger than me. He got a better technique. He's going to destroy y'all. And then from then on,
well, and they built up Kasumi, but he actually, he fought 2 good fights. He was dope, in the tournament. And then when he fought Retsu Kyle, and I was like, okay, this is it. I'm like, oh, the best kung fu fighter against the best karate fighter. This is gonna be dope. 1 punch over, burst my dude, and then walked and told him like, the shit you've been learning, the shit you think you can do, I've been doing. My people been doing that 1,000 years ago. You ain't shit. Take your ass home. Like he burst him. I was like, oh no, I still like that character, and they brought him back, even though they had him. Actually, they didn't have him lose. They had him get disfigured a couple times. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm gonna say. If Ali Jr., I'm cool with the way he lost. If this is just a lesson, if he gets better, you know what I'm saying?
You've seen more of Baki than me, so I gotta ask: have they ever done Retsu like that? Because it seems like he always gives as good as he gets.
Retsu he lost to Baki. That's it. That was
Well, I guess
in the semifinals of the what's name tournament, of the Maximum tournament. So
yeah.
I guess you didn't see that. Yeah, he fought. He made it to Baki beat him. Actually, Retsu was whooping Baki ass, and Baki the fucking the demon back showed up or something, and then he just used the power of the demon back to like overpower Retsu. It was some bullshit. Because I was like, Retsu should have won that fight because he beat the shit out of Baki. But anyway, that's a whole other season. Go back and watch that season. It's called the Maximum Tournament. That's like the third season. Find that and watch that. It's good. It's a good tournament. So I'm gonna wrap up. But yeah, that's the Raitile tournament. So the next arc in the manga, which they probably gonna do for the next, I don't know when they're gonna bring it out. The next arc is gonna be Baki gonna go to prison actually, and have to fight his way through prison. So he gonna fight a head up fight with Biscuit Aliva. So Baki is taking every step he can to get to Yu-Gi-Oh. So he's like, I got to get by Biscuit Aliva before I'm ready to fight Yu-Gi-Oh, which makes sense because I'm thinking like, but that's my point. Baki too OP where you shouldn't be able to fight somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you know, Baki about 160 pounds maybe. You know, but he fight 300-pound people, overpower 300-pound people easy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is not Dragon Ball Z. Like, you don't have a power level.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they tried to set him up as like, almost like a human version of Yujiro, but they keep beating you over the head with, like, there's Yujiro and then there's the rest of the world, and everyone between Baki and Yujiro, he tears through them after a fashion.
Right, so... Yeah, it's I'm excited to see the next season. This season's actually fun, but the English version delayed. But I'm gonna go ahead and watch it over in English. But but yeah, I'm hoping to see Ali Jr. back, and I hope that they bring him back and have him learn from this loss and come back strong, not just give up. Because the way they had him after the fight, I'm like, man, come on, man, get up, man. That boy just crying his eyes out. I'm like, oh my god.
Like, because that's the thing I really hate. Like, even with the fight being over as quick as it was, for him to like punk out like that.
Yeah, I mean, because if you saw
like
Kasumi lost and he came back and he cool with Retsu now. You know, he respected Retsu for beating his ass, and now he's stronger for that. You know. So that's what I would like to see, you know, with some characters. That's the problem. I love all the characters. I love so many, not all of them, but I love so many characters on the show. I hate to see them lose, you know. But, you know, Baki's got to, Baki got to win. All right, man. So yeah, that's our review for Grappler Baki Season 3 on Netflix, the Raitile Tournament. It's worth seeing. It's real good. If you're a Baki fan, it's good. If you like anime, if you like fighting anime, it's real good. So that's our review for Baki Netflix. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get the subscriptions up. Trying to get up to 1,000. So please sub the channel if you like the video and give us some thumbs up.
And if anyone is feeling like leaving a comment. Best fighting animes and best fighting scenes in anime.
Oh, yeah, please. Yeah, and King and Ashura got their next season coming out, so be on the lookout for the review for that. All right, y'all, we out of here.
Peace.